Going on, everybody? Good morning, good morning. Saturday morning crypto talk. You might ask, wait a minute, this is Saturday. Why aren't you on camera? Where's the donuts? Well, I've been on the phone all morning and answering questions, and so it threw off my routine. So no donuts today. What's going on, Lashana? Good morning to you. What's going on, my foos? How you doing, Victor? Kenny says it's a beautiful day in Houston. It's a beautiful day in California as well. Good morning, Danielle. I'm going to get started in just a second here. Is this technically the first Saturday of the new year? I think it is. First Saturday of 2018, and I missed my donuts. Maybe that's telling me something. I need to cut back on some of the donuts. Good morning, Glenn. Good morning, Abigail. Good morning, Brent and Luis. Luis from Florida. Welcome. Abigail, you're doing a women's march in Olympia? God bless you. Congratulations on that. So after a wild and wild 24 hours, there's never a dull day in the crypto world. Never a dull day. And I kind of shot myself in the foot because the night before I kind of was like, yeah, it's kind of been quiet. I said it was kind of been quiet, but as a result, you know, the next day, the whole crypto space exploded from many different angles. We covered that all day yesterday. No, I'm not live on YouTube. I do live on Facebook, and then I upload the video to YouTube. I'm not that technical. I got to figure out how to set it up to do live YouTube and live Facebook at the same time. I will get to that later on. Good morning, D. So let's first, let's look at the market this morning. I woke up to a surprise that I nearly doubled. I doubled my investment with Electroneum. That's a good thing. You know, 24 hours later, your investment just doubled. Electroneum right now is up 80%. It's at 19 cents. 19 cents. That's awesome. Who knows how high this thing is going to go? How high is it going to keep rising? But it's up 19 cents. So let's ride this wave until we start seeing any downturn or downtrend. Then let's look at the rest of the market. All right. The whole market cap just crossed $800 billion. $800 billion. Man. Bitcoin is at 16,900 with a 36% dominance. The altcoins, I said 2018 is going to be the year of the altcoins. You don't need Bitcoin to get wealthy. You don't need that. So let's look at here. We've got Ripple is at $3.15. Ripple 122 billion, and Ethereum is at 100. We've got 3 coins over $100 billion market cap. That's unbelievable. Just Ripple and Ethereum combined make up almost half of the market cap. You've got Bitcoin Cash, Cardano. The whole board is green, except Tron is down 12%. So I don't know why Tron is dropping so rapidly. Next is EOS is down 14%. Or 0.14%. Let's see, you've got Rayblocks is down 10%. Ethereum Classic. Scicoin is up 106%. Say Patcoin, what rank are they on the charts? Because I normally only look at maybe the top 30 or 40. And I see Bytecoin is up 35%. We've got Zcash is up 16%. Verge is coming back up at 9%. We got BitConnect is at 8.9%, $436 a coin. I tell you, they got an ICO coming out. Laugh at it if you want. But if you put $1,000 on the BCC ICO 1 year ago, that's worth $2.5 million today. Dogecoin is up 42%. Wow. And I'm just going all down. Ken, what in the world is that? Ken is up 65%. Number 41 on the coin market cap at 986. Look at this. The top 42 coins are worth $900 million or more in market cap. That's amazing. DentaCoin is up 180 cents. 180%. And it's worth less than a penny. You put $100 on there, hey, you might get a good surprise. Pay attention to these. This is why, like I said last night, education and learning a skill set on how to trade is so important. That's where we're putting part of our focus on this year. Education on the crypto space and learning how to trade. That's our focus. I think, the more I start thinking about this, and the more I look at the demand for it, because most people have no idea what crypto and stuff is, the more I'm getting excited about it. I mean, people ask me all the time, Brandon, how do you know what you know? I started off education. I started off learning what this space was all about, and I learned a skill set on how to trade. So I can trade and make money on the market cap whenever I want to. Now, since then, I hadn't really been preaching that too much. But this year, we're going to get back into that. Giving you guys the skill set, the knowledge. 37% is Nexus is up. 188%. I see Patcoin, ranked number 56. Whoa, it's worth 0.000276 pennies. Where is this? I want to look at where's Patcoin being sold. What markets is selling it? Yobit, Cryptopia, Trade Satoshi. So Yobit and Cryptopia. Cryptopia has been acting kind of funny lately. But yeah, most of the volume is on Cryptopia. And you're going to get it with mostly LTC on Cryptopia or Dodge. On Yobit, you can use BTC. So yeah, this Rick Sanchez, you bought 2.8 million. There you go. You hold on to those at the price right now. If it just goes to, if this just goes to a penny, you made a killing. If it just goes to 1 cent, wow. You guys, this is a modern day gold rush is taking place right now. Modern day gold rush. This isn't going to be available in the future. But let's talk about a couple of articles here. What was Ripple at again? Because this impacts Ripple. Let me go look at the market cap. So Ripple is number 2, $122 billion cap, $3.15, and the current is up 2%, 2.3% it's up. And as a disclaimer, I am not a licensed financial advisor to be giving financial advice. I only share my opinion and suggestions by looking at the markets and education and learning. So the reason why I wanted to do that is because this article says Coinbase refutes rumors regarding Ripple listing. So depending on what Coinbase does here will have a huge impact on which direction Ripple will go in the short term. So let's read this article here. Coinbase has silenced all rumors of adding Ripple or any other cryptocurrency to the platform with a recent post on their blog titled, "Our Process for Adding New Assets." In the post, Coinbase discusses the criteria for supporting new assets, which they talk about in their digital asset framework. A group of internal experts make the final decision on whether and when new assets are added to their platform in compliance with their framework. All employees and these experts are bound by confidentiality and trading restrictions, which should help soothe any concerns of insider trading. Coinbase then goes to continue to say that addition of assets will only be announced through official channels, such as through a blog post of a tweet from their official Twitter account. Coinbase ends the blog post with a very key statement, indirectly ending all speculation of Ripple being added on to the platform, which was a main factor in the price increase of the cryptocurrency. As of the date of this statement, we have made no decision to add additional assets to either GDAX or Coinbase. Any statement to the contrary is untrue and not authorized by the company. Okay, has that had an impact so far? Well, the coin market cap is still showing it rising at 2.3%, and it's at $3.15. You know, I bought it when it was down at 40 cents when I bought Ripple. So it looks like it's not going to have an impact either way, and it's kind of growing on its own. Litecoin is up 18%. Missed that. Stellar's up 8. Oh, let me look at my Stellar. Stellar's up 18%. I'm glad I made that move. All right. Then Stellar's what? 76 cents. Let's let me go back to Coinbase. Ripple has seen a meteoric rise in price in the last several weeks, increasing in price from just a couple of cents to a couple of dollars. Due to the increase in price, Ripple has overtaken the market capitalization of even Ethereum, with the market valuation worth $121 billion, roughly $20 billion more than Ethereum, which is now sitting at number 3. Ripple reached a new all-time high of $3.34 on January 4th, but has plummeted since that key statement. I don't consider that a freaking plummet when it was less than $1 3 weeks ago. That's not, it didn't plummet. Or, you know, authors. You got, this could either be an opportunity to buy the altcoin at a discount or a possibility to cut losses, depending on your stance on Ripple. Interest is leaving altcoins in general as more money flows into Bitcoin. As Bitcoin continues to rise and looks to move toward the 17,000 mark, this further exacerbates the situation that Ripple and other altcoins are experiencing recently, with many strong performers such as ADA, XEM, TRX, and a few others showing the first real pullbacks in weeks. Well, I don't know about when did this article it just came out. January 6th, it just came out right now. But when you look at the market, the whole market's green except for a couple of coins. Always watch who you're listening to. What they say may not always be the fact. You want me to look at the B3 coin. The B3 coin is up 1,871% over the last 24 hours or so. 1,871%. Let's see. The coin is worth 0.004, so it's worth about half a penny. Not even that, about half a penny is what it's worth right now. A peso, if that. Yeah, put $100 on it. This growing this fast, I don't know why. You know, it spiked before. I'm looking at this chart back on September 16th. It was $2.17. And then it had a massive drop. But wait, did I get that price right? No, that's not the right price. Yeah, it was $2.17. Then had a massive drop and went down less than a penny. And now it's rising again. So I wouldn't put too much in that. There's no performance history. It's not big of a risk. I mean, it's so freaking cheap. $10 is going to get you a lot. So, you know, you've got an extra 50 bucks, 25 bucks. You're good to go. Let me check out Litecoin again. Let's look at Litecoin's performance. Yeah, I said that Litecoin is up 18% right now at $300 a coin. So is Stellar. Stellar's up 18%. So the top 10 coins, the ones on the run, is Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and Stellar. The top 10 coins. All right, let's go to the next article here. Now, do I want to do that? How long is this one? This is pretty short. It's from the New York Post. Yeah, I'll cover that because that's mainstream media. The New York Post says, beware of Bitcoin mania. Beware of Bitcoin mania. So let me put this in the chat box. In a recent article that appeared in the New York Post on January 1st, 2018, numerous false statements, fourth equivalencies, and misinformation are cited. The central theme of the article, Bitcoin is not a currency, and anyone getting involved in it should be protected from their own bad judgment. All right, big brother. All right. You got to protect us from ourselves. We don't know enough. There is a lot to unpack here. So read on as we go over some of the more pertinent points made in this opinion piece. Number one, Bitcoin isn't real. The author begins the piece by attempting to explain that what Bitcoin is by comparing it to Smurf berries. You know, you always know when mainstream media is reporting on something new, it is always in the negative, especially if it's challenging the status quo. So they're comparing it to Smurf berries. You guys remember the Smurfs? You grew up in the 80s? Was that on the Disney Channel? I don't remember. I remember it was Disney Channel on that. See, in my day, we didn't have 24-hour cartoons like these kids today do. We had Saturday morning cartoon, where I'd be up at like 5:30 in the morning on Saturday to watch my cartoons. If I was at my grandparents' house, we watched Saturday morning wrestling out of Texas, the Von Erichs. Watched the cartoons, and then after the cartoons, it was always the Kung Fu flicks. Kung Fu. But I remember always watching the Smurfs. I just don't remember where I was watching the Smurfs. Oh, and after school cartoons too. Like when you get home from school between 3 and 4. So you either had like G.I. Joe, Transformers, Voltron, or Thundercats, or Silverhawks. You guys remember that? He-Man and all that stuff. Oh, DuckTales was the bomb. I ain't gonna lie. I watched DuckTales. But I remember the Smurfs and the Smurf berries. All right, let me continue. I'm going down from memory lane. 86. I was 10 years old in 86. All right, let's see here. The author continues by stating, these being the in-game currency from a popular mobile game, Smurfs Village. The author continues by stating that Bitcoins aren't real. They aren't a real currency, and also refers to Litecoin and Ethereum as fake coins. As a rebuttal, we have already seen more than a few occasions of individuals purchasing homes and vehicles, as well as many merchants accepting these currencies. The article describes the volatility, another major barrier keeping Bitcoin from becoming a genuine currency. By this definition, the Venezuelan bolivar is not a currency because its value fluctuates too much. Albeit the South American country is undergoing severe financial problems, this particular argument is unconvincing. Lastly, the author claims that Bitcoin is not currency because it can't be used to buy things. Without having to explain it, this last point points merely to cryptocurrency's position on the innovation curve. In other words, that means that we are not mature enough yet. We're still an early adapter. That's like somebody saying when email first came out, ain't nobody's using email, so it's not good. It's a scam. Bill Gates, go home. What are you talking about? Email just launched. That's the argument he's trying to make there. So fiat Number 2, fiat aren't stocks. In the next section, the article suggests that you would not hold all of your money in a national currency with the expectation of getting a 15-fold increase in a year. While this is true, due to central banks designing inflationary fiat currencies, individuals still earn profits via arbitrage across fiat exchanges every day. A more accurate comparison would be comparing Bitcoin to something like gold, which has a fixed amount of increases in value over time. Gold is worth more now than it has ever been, and this didn't make it an unreal asset. Gold, however, cannot be used to buy goods in a store, whereas some merchants and intermediaries can help local Bitcoin transactions. Here's another thing he says. Bitcoin is a bubble. They loved saying that one. Naturally, a negative piece on digital cash wouldn't be complete without these words. The author asks why governments still allow people to buy Bitcoin before concluding that the law is slow. Really? Before unpacking this argument, something concrete should be said about the bubble. Innovators and early adopters of Bitcoin are aware of this characteristic, especially having lived through 2010, 2013, and the ensuing bear market. So the inflated value of Bitcoin is nothing new, and in fact, the digital currency has gone parabolic before crashing 3 times. Moving to the argument that governments haven't legislated Bitcoin quick enough, the author fails to realize that the cryptocurrency exists outside of national laws. It is unblockable, censorship resistant, and transnational. Insofar as Satoshi hoped to create a non-mainstream option to monetary systems, it may in fact be working perfectly fine. The author then goes on to say that Bitcoin transactions are already illegal in some cases. So those of you guys that get giddy over different businesses in the crypto space when a certain state might claim something to be illegal, Bitcoin itself is still being claimed to be illegal. All that means is that it's still in the early stages. The laws are being written and rewritten and adapted. It's the early stages. This is part of the growth. And there will be things that get shut down in the process. That's part of the growth. It's like if you ever go bowling for the first time, you got the bumper balls, the gutter balls. That's, well, you know what I mean, the bumper ball. It never actually goes in the gutter. It keeps bouncing around until it finds, the even center. That's what happens. It says, according to the SEC, the author refers explicitly to crypto.co and their supposed misdeeds. It goes without saying that just because one company does something shady, the entire Bitcoin market is not to blame. I mean, I come from the MLM space. And in the MLM space, you've got hundreds, if not thousands of companies. And not all of them are doing things the right way. In fact, most of them are shady. But because one does something shady does not mean it's an indictment on the entire industry. I see that same argument being used in the crypto space as well. Because one company is doing something shady, the critics attest that that means all of them are shady. That's a dangerous argument to try to make because you're always going to end up on the wrong side of history. It goes without saying that just because one company does something shady, the entire Bitcoin market is not to blame. By the author's logic, you could declare US dollars illegal because they are used in illicit transactions quite often. Yeah, like 99% of the time. 99% of all illicit activity is being used by the US dollar. That's just a fact. The government even said that. Beware of media-sponsored mania is what they say. Okay. The author closes by saying that it is hard for regulators to crack down when news outlets encourage the mania. Her main point is that investors should be wary of Bitcoin price hikes following the attention of large media outlets. However, the author again fails to realize that Bitcoin has been around for 9 years now. This ain't new. 9 years now. During that time, it has appeared in major news outlets, television shows, newspapers, and almost any other media you can think of on a weekly, if not a daily basis across the globe. Instead, it may be more accurate to say that Bitcoin is seeing a broader uptick in interest as more people learn what it stands for and what it means for the average person. A legitimate, organic growth does not necessarily constitute a mania. That being said, there have been multiple occasions in which media have easily manipulated the price of an altcoin. Ultimately, there are a handful of valid points that this piece brings up, but it does take delicate attention from the reader. As with anything in this sector, it is incredibly important to do your research. Again, this article ends with what I say: education. Do your own research. Don't watch who you're listening to. One thing people say, well, Brandon, who do you listen to? Who do you listen to? Well, one, I listen to people who have skin in the game. Who have skin in the game. If all of these critics out there running their mouth don't own one single bit of a crypto, why am I listening to you? You don't know what's going on. You don't know how it works. When I hear any critics talks about specific companies, I ask, have you experienced it? Are you in the company? Are you on the inside to see what's going on? If not, sit down and shut up. If you have no skin in the game, I'm not listening to you. Because people with skin in the game have something to lose. Or they might have lost and they can have a first-hand account and knowledge of it. Now, I'm not saying that as a blanket for all news sources. But when we're talking about the crypto space where these people are making opinions in an effort to influence your decision, then you got to have skin in the game, baby. You got to be in this thing. All right, let's go to the last article, which is the topic here. United States of Bitcoin. Illinois gives crypto love while other states hate. Here we go. I'm going to put this in the chat box. The United States continues to divide over the issue of cryptocurrency generally and Bitcoin in particular. Idaho and Alaska issued crypto investment warnings, while Iowa's insurance division cautions against the digital assets' high risk, and Utah announces scam scares. Illinois bucks the worry warts, however, and is instead crafting legislation that would welcome crypto businesses and innovation. So again, we are at the early stages. When you see states make rulings on things like Texas has, on specific Bitcoin type companies. Every state has their own rules, their own regulations, their own version of how they want things to pan out. Hell, they're still debating on whether or not Bitcoin is legal. This is important to understand. That's why it blows my mind where I see people already in the crypto space that want to jump up and down on other businesses in the crypto space and call them illegal when they have no skin in the game either. So we've got some states that are friendly. Canada is far more friendly to crypto than the United States is. Japan has made it legal tender in the country. So it's, you know, this is like Bruce Lee says, it's like flowing water. And you got to flow with the water, and it can move and it can change, but it can never be stopped. It can never be blocked. You just flow with it. So let's talk about Illinois. Illinois wants no part of New York's bit license over regulation. If you watch Banking on Bitcoin, the documentary on Netflix, you will see how New York started off as the major hub for Bitcoin. They even had an exchange on the same block of the New York Stock Exchange. And then the politicians got involved. The people, the Wall Street guys, and their big money and influence over local politics took over. And they, in essence, ran Bitcoin out of the state. Watch the documentary. Ran it out of the state. So that's what Illinois wants no part of New York's bit license overregulation. So just because something may happen in one state doesn't mean other states are going to follow suit. Just because of what happened in Texas, Texas banned Tesla, for heaven's sake. Doesn't mean it's going to happen in other states. So let me read this. In a trend-bucking move, legislators in the Midwest state of Illinois are trying to craft legislation that would help the state welcome what some in their ranks see as an innovation. New York went in and over-regulated Bitcoin, and what ended up happening was a lot of those companies left the state. Representative Jamie Andrade reminded. So here is potential loss. California is a very heavily regulated state against businesses. And what's been happening over the past 2 decades is businesses have been leaving the state of California to do business elsewhere. So if one state wants to ban anything that has to do with crypto, well, what do you think businesses are going to do? They're just going to move somewhere else where it's more friendly. And you ended up hurting yourself now because you now could have had a tax base. You could have had a whole bunch of people in your state earning money and not being on welfare or not being on the government payroll or the government, what do you want to call it, benefits, because they're making their own money and now they're tax-paying citizens. Instead, you want to ban something and force them out. That's not good business sense. And New York made that mistake early on in the early days. And the haters of Bitcoin at the time, see, New York banned Bitcoin. It's over. It's game over. He told you it was illegal. He told you it's a Ponzi. It's a scam. Oh yeah. Go back to 2010 and 11 and 12 and read the articles that came out back then, calling Bitcoin a Ponzi because New York banned it. And if you are yourself a critic, don't be that guy or that girl. Don't be that one, that person, that dude. Oh, I told you it's a scam. I told you. What do you want, a cookie? Don't be that dude. Facebook records everything. You will get called out in the future. So, Mr. Andrade was responding to a bureaucratic report declaring Bitcoin to not be a currency. It just so happens Mr. Andrade is the chair of the state's House Committee on Cybersecurity. He's even, with colleague Mike Zalewski, set up a crypto subcommittee to help better educate the public. Illinois is also home to the city of Chicago, Frank Sinatra's kind of town, birthplace of jazz. The state was the first to use electric street lighting. Not only that, I mean, one fascinating documentary, I think it's on the History Channel, is The Men Who Built America. The Men Who Built America. That Chicago fair that took place, the first time an entire city was lit up with electricity for the very first time. So Chicago's got a good history of accepting firsts. It says the state was the first to use electric street lighting and it generates more nuclear power than any other in the U.S. The state knows cool and useful. With myself and Zalewski working on this together, he continued, I think we will be able to make sure we protect the consumer, but at the same time, We work with the companies and all the other organizations to make sure the state of Illinois is an inviting environment for this type of technology. For his part, Mr. Zalewski says, we are under tremendous pressure in this state to make government more efficient, presumably referencing Bitcoin's blockchain database. The technology has the opportunity to help remake government. See that? The technology has the opportunity to help remake. We're not talking about just assist. We're not talking about make it more efficient. The technology is going to remake it. Now do you see why those of you that, if you're not educated, all you see is Bitcoin and price going up and down and you want to buy into it, but you don't understand the blockchain technology itself and why that is so important. It is going to fundamentally disrupt every single industry on the planet. It's going to happen, whether you like it or not. Even the critics that don't like Bitcoin and crypto, they want to adopt the blockchain technology because it's going to make their businesses and the government better, more efficient. But here they're talking about remake it. And that's what we're interested in. And in Chicago, of course, is home to the first Bitcoin futures contract. See, everything's happened in Chicago. CBOE and the CME happened in Chicago first, not New York, not the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange. Illinois is well familiar with cutting-edge innovation. The goal of this is not to regulate it in a way that's going to make people uncomfortable to use it in the future. Wow. I guess because Illinois is closest to Canada, Canada's rubbing off on them. It's rubbing off on them. The usual canners and half-truths. Meanwhile, Alaska and Idaho. See, people are running their mouths about Texas. You can't even use Coinbase in freaking Alaska. You know, before you guys start running your mouths about, oh, Texas this, Texas that. Alaska and Idaho, they've already issued separate warnings about cryptocurrencies. Does that mean, Alaska and Idaho are seeing warnings about Bitcoin and cryptos? It's all illegal. Y'all need to stay away from the cryptos because Alaska said so. Really? It says, in Idaho, regulators worry too few of its inhabitants fail to go beyond the headlines and hype to understand the risks associated with investments in cryptocurrencies before plunking down their hard-earned cash. All right, let's use this in layman's terms. They're worried about, it's not a very big state. So, which means they're very heavily dependent on, the citizens. And if they're what they consider uninformed and stupid citizens and uneducated, start pulling money out of the banks and their savings and their 401ks and dropping it into crypto. See, this, the real thing they're scared about is their tax base. Money leaving that going to the crypto space that they don't control. That's what, in other words, what this means. But that's not the language they use publicly. They say, we're just worried about our citizens. They're not educated and they might lose all their money. That's not what they're worried about. That's what they're going to tell you. They are right that their citizens are not educated on this space. That is correct. Again, why we have our focus on education. People say, Brandon, why don't you do, the Facebook Lives where all you're talking about is the next investment and the next business and this and that and this opportunity and that opportunity? No. Because you're not educated. I put my focus on the fundamentals. It's like basketball. It doesn't matter how much raw talent you have. If you don't have the fundamentals, you're going to lose every day. You can have the best 5 players on a basketball team that will get killed by the best 5 developed fundamental players that have average ability. Because once you have these fundamentals, the rest is going to come naturally. So you're going to see our big push. Only this time, we're making a push in it, and we're adding an opportunity to learn a new skill set and get paid at the same time. That's what we've got coming. So you want to stay plugged in because we haven't made any announcement about it yet. But it is closer than you think, without impacting anything that you're doing. In fact, it's going to enhance whatever it is that you're currently doing, because you're going to start to have aha moments, and you're going to be like, oh, I understand this now. You're going to be able to make more informed decisions on your investments. All right, so let me continue. Alaska's regulator believes its citizens are just plain confused. What exactly do I get for my investments? The regulator asks. Will it be tangible? Is it kept in some sort of a blockchain? And if it's in a blockchain, what is a blockchain and how does that operate with your investments? Wow, these are the basic questions. I agree with these questions, by the way. I agree that these questions need to be asked. But the average person doesn't even know to ask these questions because they're not educated. They don't even know these questions exist and should be asked. So I agree with that point. It says that, or there might have been a contest for how many times a bureaucrat could weave the word blockchain into a quote. In Iowa, regulators caution, investing in cryptocurrencies is not for the faint of heart, they insist. Cryptos have an unproven track record and carry a high risk of fraud that should cause consumers to be cautious. That is straight up fear-mongering right there, because the statement is not true. The fact that I can go to CoinMarketCap right now and see, let me hit the refresh button again, and see that the total market cap is now at $801 billion. So it went from zero from 2009 to $801 billion 8 years later, or 9 years later. The fact that that's taken place is proof that this statement is false. What do you mean an unproven track record? It has proven itself. High risk of fraud. What, you got to be more specific. High risk of fraud for what? ICO, the investing itself, companies in the crypto space, mining. Be specific here. What do you mean? See, this is what states do. They throw out some blanket statement here that can, a lawyer could use to twist in any direction, because it's not. Think of whenever you see a politician get called to Congress to testify, and they get asked a question, and the answer is so freaking vague, it's all over the place, and it's hard to pin them down. That's government talk. That's what they're doing here. An unproven track record. What? You say, he said cryptos have. What crypto in particular? Because a lawyer, if they want to back this up, can say, yeah, I can use a crypto out there that failed. See, it's an unproven track record. Well, you're just ignoring all the others that succeeded. So they're vague on purpose. Finally, Utah. I like that one, Rick. Oh, I don't recall. I don't remember what happened that day. I don't recall. I got to look at my notes. Finally, Utah minders urge. Utah's reputation as a technically savvy and connected state makes our population ripe for cryptocurrency fraud. And yet, while it's a compliment to our population for being plugged into what's trending, internet hype can lead to rash decisions. I agree with that statement. I 100% agree. Internet hype can lead to rash decisions. The reason why I agree is because one of the number one questions I get asked is, how do I buy Ripple? How do I buy Ethereum? How do I buy Dash? Is Dash on Coinbase? How do I set up my Coinbase account? How does this work? How does that work? Blah, 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 blah. Now, if you've got 1,000 people asking you that same question every week, I love to give out this information for free. All right? I love giving out education. But time is also money. So I'm going to make a shift in 2018. And instead of me answering those questions on a one-by-one, case-by-case basis, instead, I will point you to the right location of a trusted source, a trusted platform that will teach you all of this information, plus a new skill set, and how to implement that skill set that you're going to start to make money responsibly. That's one of our diverse programs that we're going to be announcing very soon, on top of what we already have going on. Now, I'm going to be able to have an educated base of people that when new ideas come down the pipe, new opportunities come down, we've got an educated group that we can move and take advantage of. But that can't happen with a bunch of people that they've got the money, but they don't have the education, and that is a nightmare mix. Because if things don't go the way that they wanted and they're not educated, they're going to feel they got robbed. They're going to feel they got scammed. And then they're going to come and blame you. So I'm making it mandatory. Those who want to work with me, and I think I've proven that we can help people make money. I think we've proven that fact. 100% of the people that's worked with us is making money. 100%. And we're not going to stop that trend. So if you want to work with us, then there's certain mandatory things you got to go through to get to the big boy level and stuff. So with that, that's my crypto talk for the morning. I'm sorry I don't have the camera on and I'm not getting my donuts today. I've been on the phone all morning. It threw me off. So I just stayed home where it's nice and warm. Eat breakfast, and I'll probably have it back next Saturday. So with that, you guys have a great day. I will be doing a late night crypto talk tonight. I've got my business presentation at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'll do crypto talk before that, and look forward to the future. Have a great day. God bless. Bitcoin Brandon out. Bye-bye.